So I'm a little overstimulated this morning, and this may be the first time in a while, at least, that I've recognized it. Overstimulated, and I have a lot that I want to do today, but it's like I just need to calm down a little bit. I woke up very, very hungry. So I made me a breakfast sandwich that I'm eating now. I chopped up a pineapple that had been in my refrigerator for too long. I made my coffee and it was way too sweet and I could not drink it. So I'd pour that out. I made another coffee and I wasn't paying attention. Well, I was paying attention, but I didn't learn from the first mistake with the coffee. A whole clump of brown sugar just fell into the coffee. So now it's still sweet. So I'm just drinking it black because of course creamer would have made it even sweeter. I've taken my medication today. So the issue with my medication, and I think just many types of stimulant medications that help treat ADHD and probably other things too, is it suppresses your appetite. And so while I am very hungry, like I went to bed hungry, but I was just too tired to really cook something, so I just made like a sandwich or something. I woke up hungry, but I know I need to take my medicine at a certain time in order for it to kick in, but I really need those, few hours of just like focus. But now I want to eat, but I don't have an appetite because of the medication. And trying to force myself to eat, it's just like, ugh. But I can still feel myself being hungry. It's just too much. And then of course I still have to work. And so, and then last night before bed, I was reading the book, The Best Man book. It is so good. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe I'll do like a deep dive into it a little later. But I was reading the book and I went to bed just thinking, when you read a book and, you get into the lives of these characters, you just have a lot of questions. And I think specifically with The Best Man, because because we're able to like actually see these characters, we've seen them acted out on the screen, we, form that connection with them. And so I went to bed just thinking about that. And I actually was reading on like, just, people who are neurodivergent and things that you should and shouldn't do before you go to bed. And I saw an article where it talked about that, like, try not to start like a to-do list or, do something that's going to really hold your attention and just send you down a rabbit hole, because that's what it did. And I woke up thinking about it too. And so, yeah, I'm very overstimulated this morning, and coffee probably is not healthy. So I may not even drink it because I probably don't even need it. So I'm going to turn on a playlist, try to eat my sandwich, come back down, center myself, and start this day over. Yeah. Going Mm. I remember growing up and just wanting to have the most perfect eyebrows. My sister has the prettiest eyebrows. They're like really nice, like full, thick, and then when she gets them arched, so pretty. Well, yeah, I always wanted to have really nice eyebrows, but mine were always very thin, always needed to be filled in, you know. Is what it is. But I'm gonna spend the morning and afternoon at a little coffee shop. I miss having like a coffee shop day. When I was first like getting in touch with my creative passions and exploring all of, my entrepreneurial endeavors and all of that, I stayed at a coffee shop. Like stayed at a coffee shop. I felt inspired. I just felt like I was just locked in at a coffee shop. So I think I'm starting to like how my braids look on me. I think they turned out really, really pretty. She did a really good job. I love the parting. I love just how neat they are. But I think I'm just over braids. Like I wore braids for 3 years, 3.5 years straight while I was growing my hair out from like a TWA. Like I had the teeniest of afro. And then while I was growing it out, I got bored and I cut it again. So I had braids for like 3.5 years. And so now I'm just kind of over it. I thought I would enjoy having braids again just because, I wouldn't have to do my hair. And that's really the only reason I got them. Well, not only reason, I actually enjoy doing my hair. I got them because it's super humid out. I have a couple of trips coming up and I just don't want to deal with hair at this point. So but once I came back from the salon, I was just like, I don't know if I'm a braid girl anymore. I don't know if that's my look. And I think it's just because I'm just used to wearing a bob. But yeah, I like them. They're growing on me again. And I had to come home and I washed my braids. And actually I told the braider that the hairstylist, she was just like, "You're gonna mess up the style." And I'm like, "No, it'll be fine." I like to come home, wash my braids like immediately once I, come home from the salon. Because I don't like all that jam and gel and mousse and hairspray just sitting on my scalp. Like, I can't deal with that. I already have like psoriasis or whatever going on my scalp, so I can't deal with all that just sitting there. And then it's like, I don't want all that on my pillow, like on none of my pillows, you know? Like, I wrap my hair at night. What if what if it comes off and now I just got all this stuff on my pillows on my couch? Like, I don't know. I just need all that off my scalp. And so, once I washed them and I, saw how they loosened up a little bit, not as stiff, they just move a lot better. I think I'm starting to like them now. Yeah. But yeah, I want to get over to the coffee shop and just have a nice little day. I'm not going to do too much makeup wise, just put some brows on. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of bronzer on because this evening, y'all, I told my friend I'm going to go with her to this event. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in DC. I don't think it's a club. It might be like a club adjacent, a lounge or something. And my friend, she loves like nostalgic type of events. So like, 90s type of R&B nights or something. And that might be what it is. That might be. So yeah, I have that this evening. And I don't really know if I'm looking forward to it. Not because I don't want to go or because of the event. I just know how I get around like 5-ish, 4-ish. I'm just going to want to be at home. So I'm preparing myself mentally because I do feel my introverted self being like, hey, girl. But actually, she's one of my friends that I cannot cancel on. Like, she is the girl who was like, nope, it's locked in. We're going. If it's like an emergency or something like that, of course. But if it's just like, oh, I don't want to go. She's not that type of friend. Yeah. And we need those friends. We need people to be like, no, you said you were going to go. So we're going. Like, you're not just about to bail on me and I've been looking forward to it, So, yeah, I'm going to get my mind ready for that. But in the meantime, let me finish getting ready, head over to the coffee shop and get this day started. Yeah. Going on.
All right, it's to the fault though.
I am home and I had a really good day at the coffee shop. Really glad I went. Really glad I went. I just needed that uninterrupted time to just get into what it is that I'm trying to do. Like sometimes what you want to do, you see it, you can visualize it, you think about it every day, but it's just like you just need that time to just sit and just do the work. And so today was that. I sat there from 12 to now. I think it's like 4:30 now. And it felt good. I cleaned up my website And actually, before I get into that, I don't even know if I've really shared what it is that I'm working on. So I'm updating my website, jalenlittle.com, because I want it to be more of like a full expression and representation, yeah, of like who I am. Right now, the website, it primarily just has recipes, like my food recipes, my cocktail recipes, because that was the original intention of the website. I kind of started it when I was food blogging, and it used to be called A Little Food, but I was just like, I don't want it to be so niche down, and so I changed it to jadenlittle.com. But now I'm like, I want it to be more than just a repository for my recipes. I want it to be a full on website that serves as like a destination for women like me who are at the intersection of like doing the work and becoming. And when I think about it, I kind of imagine it to be, and this is no shade, and what I'm about to say is no shade at all, but I imagine it being what Essence magazine would have been if the magazine would have continued to grow with me as the reader. And granted, I started reading Essence magazine when I was probably like 15 or 16. So even then, I was never really a part of like their demographic at that time. Um, but even once, I turned like 21, 25, 28, I kind of felt like I had aged out of the content. Didn't really feel like it was speaking to where I was and where I was trying to go. Um, in my early years, the magazine kind of served as, well, not kind of, it did serve as like a source of inspiration. I held on to those magazines for years. Like I would go back and reference them. It was just so much wisdom in the magazine. And I think over time, as companies have to evolve, let's just say I aged out. And so I want something that's less inspirational, something that really calls people to take action in their life, specifically women, Black women, to take action and move from this place of like being inspired to knowing like I have what it takes. I am super talented. I'm smart. I have the skills. I have the purpose. I just need help putting it in action so that I can achieve my goals and really just live out this life that God has called me to live. And so I want jadenlittle.com to be that source, that destination that women can go to seek joy and refuge and rest in a lot of ways, and community, but also some answers. While I have parts of it already existing on the site, I think the recipes play a huge part in women's lives, like learning how to cook at whatever age you are, or just, advancing your skills, or just getting back to a place of finding joy in the kitchen. I think that's a big part of our journey and our story as well, especially mine right now. Like I've kind of I've taken some time away from just cooking, and the reason being is because cooking over time it just started to feel like a chore, probably because I monetized it. And so now I'm getting back to that place of just finding joy in cooking again. And so I want the recipe or not the recipe, I want the website to offer that to women. I want to share a lot of lessons on personal growth and career advancement and navigating friendships and breakups, both relationships and friend breakups, um, grief and therapy, and maybe being diagnosed with something later on in life. All of the things. And so I wanted to just be a place where women can come to just see themselves, to find themselves, and to just be seen. That has always been a part of my life's purpose, really helping people be seen and feel loved. And so that is what I am turning jadenlittle.com into. Whenever you take your time to just rest and reset, I want jalenlittle.com to be a part of that moment. So with that, I'm also thinking about moving my Substack over to the website. Um, and so I'm kind of just figuring that out, how I want to make that transition. Obviously, I know if I move the Substack to jlittle.com. I'll definitely be losing some foot traffic, but I'm okay with that because it also comes down to ownership. Like, I don't own anything over on Substack. And I want to be able to speak to people when I want to speak to them, not just when I'm delivering a post. Like if I'm having an event or whatever it may be, I'm launching something, I want to be able to have access to that mailing list. So yeah, working on that, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really, really, really excited about it. When I talk about it, when I think about it, when I dream about it, it feels so good in my soul. It feels so good in my body, and it feels very much aligned with just where I'm going, where God is taking me. So yeah, that's what I was working on. But like I said earlier, I did tell one of my friends I will go out with her tonight, and we're gonna meet up at 7:30. So I'm gonna rest for a little bit and get myself ready for that because I low-key don't want to go anywhere. So I need to hype myself back up. Yeah, let's do that.